Welcome to Vibe Camp, the Entrepreneur Channel. I'm Rob Wilmot, and with me today I have got Don Turner from Chonk.
Hello.
Chonk is a mobile development company, so I'm going to run straight into the first question and say hello again, Don.
Hello,
We're
Rob.
talking here
Lovely
a few
to be
minutes. Fantastic for coming on board. First question is, what are you up to?
Good question. Very good question. My wife thinks I'm absolutely insane, but I have left a very well-paid job and a brilliant company called Spinning Clock.
Yeah, we know them.
To set up a new company called Chonk, which
Fantastic.
is a mobile development company, as you've said. So yeah, we've been developing an application for Blackberry, which is called Music Room. It allows you to stream music from your PC to your Blackberry over your wireless network.
And where would you use that?
In your house.
Oh,
mainly.
brilliant! Right.
So it's kind of like if you're cooking, or if you're in the bath, or if you're anything you like, really, changing nappies. You can very quickly get access to your music collection and play your entire 100 gig music library on your Blackberry. I mean, you can even plug it into a pair of speakers so that you've got decent quality sound if you're that way inclined. It's kind of like really, really quick entertainment, like as you're doing stuff in the house.
So if I'm doing the DIY, I'm up a ladder, I've got it in my pocket.
Exactly.
You don't want my laptop in range. I'm going to drop something on it. I've got my personal thing.
You've got your phone. You can stick it in your pocket.
Yeah, gotcha.
You can play it.
So how long have you been doing this then?
I came up with the idea in November.
Right.
I'll tell you what happened. We've got a baby daughter, Chloe, who's beautiful. She was one month old, and I'm there changing a nappy. I did have the foresight to, on my PC downstairs, download some nursery rhymes.
Superb.
So that was good, but I'd forgotten to bring my iPod and speakers upstairs because I like to get the changing area.
Yeah.
Like it's got to be a nice environment and all the rest of it.
Totally.
So she's crying away, and I'm thinking, oh, I wish I had those tunes. But all I've got on me is my phone. So being the kind of geek that I am, I thought, well, there's no technical reason why you can't do that. So searched the App Store. There was nothing available to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the kind of the seed of the idea. But of course, I was the managing director of Spinning Clock at the time. So I started kind of playing around with app development. I mean, I suppose a bit of history. I am by trade a Java developer.
Yeah.
So I've got a degree from Nottingham Uni in computer science. I was for 2 years a commercial Java programmer for Capital One, just down the road. And after spending 2 years there, I then founded Spinning Clock. But I've always had the kind of the programming, the geek side of it inside of me, whilst I've been doing all the managing director stuff. I think it's helped in a lot of ways to get Spinning Clock to where it is. But essentially, this is me going back to my roots.
And we've all got the inner geek, haven't we? And it has to come out, doesn't it?
You can try and fight it
Totally.
for as long as you like, but it does have to come out.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's really massively refreshing to go into a market where it's all about the kind of the technical side of things, the geekery, the doing stuff that people haven't done before. So
what's the ambition for Chonk then? Where do you want to take it? What do you want it to achieve?
Another good question. At the moment, I'm kind of in that market testing phase where I know there's a market, especially with Blackberry as well, because it's as far as I'm concerned, it's a massively untapped market.
Yes.
So you've got Android and you've got iOS devices,
yes,
and Windows Phone 7, but the top two, Android and iPhone, very saturated market. For instance, I know for a fact that there are 3 apps on the App Store that do what my app does.
Sure.
So it would be a bit silly to go in and try and compete in those markets, whereas BlackBerry's got something like 46 million devices worldwide, and yet they've only got 30,000 apps, and most of them, I'll be honest, are not particularly good.
I think what you found there is that it has a niche following. Certainly with the business community that I work with, most people have a BlackBerry.
Yep.
So it needs these extra apps that can be used on the downside, on the other side of the work in the home and in private life.
Yeah,
and I think they've got them with them all the time. Who isn't with a BlackBerry doing their email every 5 minutes? It's nice to have something that is beyond the business use. So I think you probably hit a really good niche there.
Well, let's hope so.
And that's where you're going with it.
That's where I'm going with it. So targeting the niche market of BlackBerry apps. I am also investigating HTML5
Yes.
for cross-platform development. I think that's a very exciting technology.
Certainly is.
Especially with services like PhoneGap
Yes.
for converting your HTML5 app into apps for all of the different platforms.
That's superb. So you're looking to just go beyond the BlackBerry as well then, but in that mode?
Essentially, where I'm at the moment is I've got a whole load of ideas that that I've come up with, ideas that people have pitched to me, and they're either looking for investment in terms of my time and expertise, and I've also got this app that I've in fact I got approval yesterday. It's actually on
congratulations,
BlackBerry Out World today. So yeah, I'm just exploring opportunities at the moment. I know the market's there. It's just about refining what my offering is to enable me to capitalise on it.
So what do you think to the sort of pretext that people are now saying that you have to have your website on a phone because the phone is becoming the mode that people are looking at things mostly in the day now, over and above what's on their desktop, because they've got it with them all the time. What do you think about the way that the website, everyone is now saying that it has to be enabled for the mobile platform?
Well, I mean, most websites they will work on a phone anyway.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like the iPhone 4, for example, has got an exceptional web browser in it.
It does.
It's brilliant. So most websites should render the same. I think the shift that we're seeing now is with the integration of HTML5 elements like geolocation into websites as well. Good example is TripAdvisor.
Yes.
Where just a fantastic piece of functionality. As soon as you go to TripAdvisor website on your mobile, it asks you what your location is, and then it will provide you recommendations based on your location. I mean, we had a trip to Skegness the other day and wanted to find a decent pub, and the fact is there's a lot of ropey pubs around there. So TripAdvisor, on you go. 30 seconds later, there's a great pub. It's had like 16 5-star reviews. We had a lovely meal. So I mean, it's an example of how the integration of HTML5
Yes.
into websites can really enhance the user experience. So yes, I think that we are seeing a big shift into adding features into websites to enable mobile users to get the most out of what their phone provides. So
Yes.
geolocation, I mean, the fact that you can take a picture and upload it immediately. I mean, the phone is, and you've got a touch screen as well. It's
Yes.
a very intuitive interface for certain types of applications. So yeah, I think there's a big shift at the moment to make sure that your website is functional on mobiles. So,
And the big evolution of apps coming through all the time. Now, just to give you my thoughts, to get your view, because I've been thinking a long time about this. You see so many people building apps on phones that simply they could create a web-enabled element of their site that does what the app does at a fraction of the cost. Do you have any thoughts on that? Am I being too simple?
I mean, it's a big debate, and I've had a few debates recently. I'll be honest. Initially, the whole kind of native app versus web app debate, I was very much on the native app side of things because the platforms are so different in terms of what hardware is available,
yes.
In terms of graphics, in terms of the features that each phone offer, and also I'll be honest, I wasn't fully aware of how far along the HTML5 standard
entirely
is. So I think there'll always be native apps which can only be done as native apps. I mean, games is quite a good example.
To basically take advantage of the specific technology rather than a generic interface, right?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. With HTML5, you will always cater for the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
So the common things on phones, like geolocation, there's certain graphical elements that you can incorporate into HTML5, but the common elements you will always be able to get access. But if there are specific features on a phone, or if there's if there's hardware which is really advanced that you need to have a special API to be able to get access to, you're not going to be able to do that through HTML5. So there will always be apps which have to run natively.
Yes, to get the best advantage out of the
Yeah.
generic device.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, there's a lot of apps out there that could have been done on HTML5, and of course the advantage is instead of just doing it for iPhone, you can do it for everything.
I just want to see what you, and I think you're on both camps, aren't you?
I'm sitting in the middle.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's probably a very good thing, a great place to be at the moment, to see how HTML5 develops. So when I do these interviews, I do tend to ask people why are they based in Nottingham, and it's not a derogatory question. It's really to elicit what they think about the town and why they're based here.
Right. Okay. Why am I based in Nottingham? Well, I went to uni here, and I've been here ever since. I mean, I love the town.
Super.
It's a great place to live. I think it's a great place to bring up kids. And recently I've found it's got a really vibrant, exciting tech community as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of events that have only just been, obviously starting a new company, wanted to get really throw myself back into the scene. So you've got like Geek Up Nottingham, you've got Not Tuesday, Second Wednesday. There's loads of like decent events and just really kind of clued up, tech savvy, Phil will like this, disruptive people who want to kind of challenge the norm and do something quite exciting. So
yeah, I'd just like to say that Phil is disruptive.
Yes.
Definitely disruptive.
Incredibly. And quite obnoxious sometimes.
He is now and again. But we might use that bit for the outtake. Don Turner, thank you very much for coming in.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's brilliant. You have to chink your mug.
Sorry,
it is a custom.
I'll grab my tea.
Superb. Thank you very much for coming in.
I can see a red light up there.
Nobody won't tell you.
No, that's just on there.
That's
He just gets it. He gets the outtakes. You see, now this is all great because it's going to go outtakes. Brought to you by Blackberry. Pearl. Sith Dark Lord, make sure that goes in because I love it. Alright, fantastic. Okay. Do you use your hands a lot?
I do, yeah.
I like it. That's really good. So he's recording all of this.
See, I'm taking it all seriously.
Well, he's using these and just do that. Some people have to use their hands to talk.
Yeah.
I think Don is a hands-on. Like, does that bring you out of one layer of the dream into the next layer?
Yeah, very good.